Coming just days after the 2-year anniversary of the Israel-Hamas war, we have news that a deal has supposedly been reached, still to be ratified, I guess we would say, and signed in Egypt maybe over the next 24 hours. This is a hostage prisoner swap deal. The idea being this may lead to a permanent ceasefire. Now, we have reported agreement on the initial terms. The outlined terms include the release of Israeli hostages in exchange for a number of Palestinian prisoners. Some say freeing Palestinian prisoners encourages future hostage taking. Others say this is the practical reality of the situation. There is simply no other way even to get to this point. Now, also of concern, how many of the Israeli hostages are still alive? It's believed that there will be a lot of, unfortunately, the remains of deceased hostages making up a portion of those released. Only 20 hostages are believed to still be alive. The Trump administration worked on this, combined with Arab mediators. Trump says he will travel to the region over the weekend, and the very opportunist Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he has invited Donald Trump to address Israeli parliament. Now, understand that we sort of have two parallel tracks here. What are the facts of the situation on the ground, and how will that affect Israeli-Palestinian relations? And then there's the propaganda value to Donald Trump and to Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, we'll get to that. A lot of uncertainty remains. Is either side genuine and authentic in their agreement? Are they really going to go through with it? Lots of questions are still unclear. When is Israel supposed to permanently stop military operations in Gaza? We have some answers once the deal is signed, which is supposed to happen in the next 6 to 24 hours. There will be a 24-hour deadline that will start at that point for Israeli forces to make a partial withdrawal from some Gazan positions. A potentially temporary ceasefire would start within 24 hours of the Israeli cabinet meeting and presumably approving this. After those 24 hours, Hamas will then have 72 hours to release the hostages. That's according to U.S. and Israeli officials. And Israel would release 250 Palestinian prisoners serving life sentences, as well as 1,700 people detained from Gaza since October 7, 2023. Now, there are a number of obstacles to this becoming a durable ceasefire. And I mean obstacles other than the last 70 years, which make us say, is any ceasefire really durable? But I mean, sort of at the micro level, even if this initial hostage prisoner swap does take place, is Hamas really going to disarm, which is part of the deal? Is Israel really going to stop all operations in Gaza, which is part of the deal? Will Israel really carry out a full withdrawal? Pardon my skepticism, but if you come to me and you tell me nothing other than Trump and Netanyahu are involved, I immediately wonder, will it really happen? What's in it for them? Is the reporting even accurate? Are they even genuine and authentic in their desire to participate? Because they are two individuals that I just don't trust. And I think history tells us that they should not be trusted. Now, there is reporting that additional negotiation is going to be necessary sometime between the hostage prisoner exchange and any potential long-term ceasefire. It would not come as a huge shock if that negotiation didn't go well. But listen, on the one hand, when Trump and Netanyahu are involved, I'm skeptical by nature. On the other hand, I don't care who's involved. I hope that this actually does get us closer to ending this conflict, either at the micro or at the macro level. So you now know everything that's been released as of this moment. The next 6 to 24 hours and subsequently 72 are going to be critical in figuring out what is ultimately going to happen here.